Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is going to be a little bit of a fun, different video. If you can hear my daughter in the background, it's because she's awake and very noisy and energetic, and yeah, right? Yeah, mommy got your cheeks. So yeah, if you hear that and it disturbs you, then you can click the fuck off my video. So today's video is going to be about top 5 serial killers that freak me the fuck out. While we get ready with my orgy palette, because today I feel like being a brown-eyed hoe. And yeah, so with all other ado, let's get into this video. Let me hush my mouth. So I'm just going in with some eyelid primer. So number 5, you guys, the serial killer that I think is maybe the least amount of like freakness, it would have to probably be the Green River Killer. Just for the simple fact, because that dude killed, he claimed that he killed 80 women at first when they finally did catch up with him, and eventually only pled guilty to 48. So that's like a lot of people that he killed and shit. And he actually went after prostitutes, which, do you, if you got a prostitute to get your money. I'm not about that lifestyle. If you have to strip, I'm almost about that lifestyle, because you guys be like bringing home way more money than what the hell I make in a year. Yes, that shit pisses me off. But yeah, prostitution is not my thing, but if you gotta do it, do you. So that was mainly his thing, is he definitely went after prostitutes, which is a little creepy and a little terrifying in my opinion, because it's like these women think that they're going home with this dude to make money, and then he ends up brutally killing them, and he wasn't very nice about how he killed them and everything to that nature. The thing that was really like the most, why he comes in at number 5, is because number 1, he does not like one of the most notorious, like gruesome, disgusting serial killers. His biggest thing was he would strangle them by hand, or he would use some type of rope, wire, shoelaces and shit to that nature. So it was a little bit of a like slow death, like you definitely felt it. And yeah, so Green River Killer, you're not very nice. Oh, bless you. Yeah. So he wasn't that nice of a dude, but also I feel like he wasn't like one of the most like craziest serial killers out there and shit to that nature. I mean, still, and why I think I picked him at number 5 is because of how many women he killed. It wasn't about how like disgusting he was and anything to that nature. And I do want to put out there, before anybody comes at me, when I did my fuck you Karen video and I was like saying like serial killers are pussies, which they are. If you really think about it, they are very much pussies, because for you to prey on women to that nature, you're weak. Why has there never been like a serial killer man that like just killed men? I mean, I'm sure you guys are gonna say like Jeffrey Dahmer, but Jeffrey Dahmer was kind of gay, so I don't really consider that like men that he was actually attacking. It was more like gay men. So yeah, Green River Killer comes in at number 5 just for the simple fact because of how many women he's killed. And like, that's a lot of women that he actually got a hold of. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, but then you have like these other serial killers that are considered like way worse than this dude, and I'm like, this guy killed, well, he admitted to 80 but he pled guilty to 48. The other ones didn't even come close to that number. Now, there is a guy that's not American. I think he is Swedish or I don't remember. You'd have to look it up. But he is the most guy with the most serial killer numbers, and he's not even like American. I think he killed like 300 and some people. So yeah. But anyways, back to the Karen situation is, I know you guys are going to come at me. One, I am like obsessed with serial killers, but not like to the point to where like I would want to be a serial killer, because that would just be weird. I don't agree with what serial killers do, but I do find it very interesting of what draws them to do stuff like that, to that nature. I've always been a type of person who always wanted to know and read the mind of serial killers, but I don't even know what profession that is. And your girl decided to choose drugs and guys in high school, and look where it got me. Sitting here talking to a camera. So yeah, that's always one of my biggest dreams, is I always wanted to be like a homicide detective and study the minds of serial killers, and just like what causes you to snap and do really disgusting, horrifying things is like what I really would like to know. So coming in at number 4, you guys, is the Zodiac Killer. Now, he really interests me for the simple fact because of how intelligent he was. And supposedly, back in 2020, I think it was, they cracked his Zodiac, supposedly, and still didn't tell you nothing about him. 'Cause all he said was, the guy that you arrested was not me, type of shit. But anyways, the thing that I find that was so, like, creepy, but yet intriguing about the Zodiac Killer is this dude knew what the fuck he was doing. Like, this guy was highly intelligent. And that's another thing, is a lot of serial killers are intelligent type people. Like, they're smooth talkers. They can make you believe anything. And it's kind of creepy of how intelligent a psychopath can be, you guys. And so anyways, back to the Zodiac. The point of this guy could send the cops codes. Nobody could crack them. Nobody knew what was going on. This guy was just killing. He wasn't like killing a lot of people, but he killed some people. And just the point that this guy could send codes to the cops, pretty much kind of like being like ha 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 type of shit, and they still couldn't figure out who he was, what he was doing, or anything to that nature. And this guy still, I mean, if he's even still alive, like nobody even knows like how old the dude was. He could have been a young dude, he could have been an old dude. Like, is this dude even still alive? Is he dead? Like, it's such a mysterious mystery about the Zodiac Killer. That's why I find him to be extremely creepy, because this dude killed people and got away with it, and still to this day nobody has any idea who the fuck this guy is. That's fucking creepy. That just goes to show he was like so much more intelligent than a cop who has like spent many of years trying and like knowing how to do stuff like this, and this dude is just like I got you, motherfucker. So yeah, it's like, what? That's why I find him to be one of the creepiest serial killers out there. And I don't even really know if you would consider him a serial killer, but in my opinion he would be. But anyway, so number 3 coming in is Ted Bundy, you guys. He is one of the most creepiest serial killers to me. I watched the Ted Bundy tapes on Netflix, and I've heard creepy ass stories about him before I even watched that documentary. But this dude, okay, let me just stop and tell you guys. Ted Bundy was a fucked up dude, okay? This dude was so insane that he didn't even know he was insane. Like, if you watch those movies and shit, like, this dude really thinks that he didn't do anything, when you probably know damn well he does know what he did. But he's just so insane that he's like, it wasn't me. Got you on the counter, wasn't me. Chopped that dude's head off, wasn't me. That's the type of dude that guy was, okay? And the thing that was even more creepier about the whole situation of Ted Bundy. Yeah. Yeah. Do you like the story about Ted Bundy so far? I haven't even gotten into it and you're that interested. Alright, you guys. So he was such a smooth talker that he could pretty much lure anybody into whatever he wanted you to pretty much do. Like, he was just one of those type of guys that you just like felt really comfortable around, but in reality, if you really knew who he was, you knew that once you got into his car, you were fucked and you were gonna die type of shit. But you would never know that because pretty much nobody really knew who Ted Bundy was at that point. So that's what even made it even more creepier, is how much of a smooth talker he was. He was a highly intelligent dude. He was a type of dude that went to school, he got education, so that's another thing that kind of would throw you off and make you seem like this guy can't be that bad, right? But in reality he is. So he was highly intelligent. And then the thing that was like why he comes in at number 3 is because he is the serial killer that kind of started like the nastiness of being a serial killer type of thing. He would knock them out. He would eventually have sex with these dead corpses. Gross. He would have sex with the dead corpse. He would mutilate these women. He would chop them up. And he was just fucked up. I mean, like, how else can you like say anything to that nature? Chopping off women's heads. Girl, good night. And this is a dude that you wouldn't even think could do anything like that to you, because he's so insane that he doesn't even know what he's doing. That's the part that is the creepiest of the whole situation. Is you get into, well, you meet a guy and he's such a smooth talker. He knows what he's doing, so he knows how to lure you. And then within like seconds or hours, you're getting beat across the face. He's knocking you out with something. And then all of a sudden, well, you wouldn't even know that your head's getting chopped off. But just the point that this dude is doing this type of behavior to you. And the even more creepier part about the whole situation is the dude was married. And she was even baffled of what he was doing. Like, this is how intelligent this guy was. And then the thing that was even more strange to me is of how well this dude had people baffled by him. Like, people didn't even think he was like even doing anything wrong. And then like he escaped jail because the dude had the guards fooled. He had everybody thinking he was just this sweet, innocent guy, when in reality he was evil as hell, okay? And he was very mental and he didn't even know it. That's the even more part, like I said, you guys, is that is extremely creepy about this whole situation, is how you can be like that. That's what makes him like so insane that it's scary. So that's why he comes in at number 3 on my list. Is, oh, I don't even know. So yeah, just talking about Ted Bundy like creeps me out, dude. And the even more weirder part is this dude like started up in I think it was Oregon or some shit. I don't know. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, then he ends up dying in Florida, like where I was raised. I'm like, Ted Bundy was there when I was Great. So yeah, coming in at number 2, you guys, the guy that really creeps me the fuck out is Jeffrey Dahmer. Whew. Yes, child. Jeffrey Dahmer is a fucking weirdo. Jeffrey Dahmer is such a fucking creeper. Just looking at him, if you look at his photos, he just screams straight up creeper. Like, I don't even know. Look, Google him, and the first picture that pops up is this photo that always sticks in the back of my head with him, and it's the one where he's wearing like those big ass 80s glasses, and he just looks like a straight fucking creep. I don't know. I can't. Jeffrey Dahmer is just such a creep to me. And the even more scarier part is there's a guy I work with. He's the produce manager of the store that I work with, and that motherfucker looks like Jeffrey Dahmer, and every time he comes in there, he has to get his flowers out of my cooler. I am freaking out because I'm like, are you gonna kill me and eat me? Because I'm serious, this guy looks just like Jeffrey Dahmer. It creeps me the fuck out. So anyways, so Jeffrey Dahmer's crazy ass had a very weird obsession with dead animals and their bones, okay? Yeah, I know. So Jeffrey Dahmer had this weird obsession with bones and dead bodies or animals, and so I guess that's what started the whole situation. And it didn't help that his father, I'm assuming, was just as weird as he was, but his father didn't like kill everybody and start eating them like his son did. So anyways, so Jeffrey Dahmer had this weird, strange obsession with putting animals in like acid and seeing exactly how they would react and if they would disintegrate, which obviously they would. And then he had a weird fascination with their bones. Yeah. So anyways, then we're going to get on to Jeffrey Dahmer. Obviously was a type of guy who probably got bullied throughout high school and all that great stuff, because let's just be honest, the dude looked like a creeper. And he, at that time, you know, back when everybody was born before 1990, the generation was entirely different than 1990 and beyond. Pretty much if you looked like somebody like Jeffrey Dahmer, you would get picked on in high school, and that was just a thing. Like, people nowadays don't seem to understand, like, the bullying. Like, some people will tell you that people who look like Jeffrey Dahmer now in high school don't get picked on and they're considered the cool kids. And I'm sitting there like, well, that obviously flipped shit, because that person never would have been a cool kid growing up in our high school. So anyways, he probably got picked on just for his appearance. And plus the dude obviously had creepy traits about him. And one thing is that started his very first murder is he attacked this jogger guy. And that's when he, at that point, I'm assuming it felt good to kill humans. And that's when he went on with that situation of killing and attacking human beings. And obviously Jeffrey Dahmer obviously was a gay guy or bisexual, whatever his preference is. That I don't really give two shits what his sexual preference was, but obviously he liked men. And that was one of the things that he would go after, would be men, and those would be his victims. I'm sorry, something is aggravating my eye. So the thing is with Jeffrey Dahmer of why he comes in at number 2 is because here we go with serial killers becoming extremely creepy, gruesome, and disgusting. So Jeffrey Dahmer was a type of guy who liked to take his victims, have sexual intercourse with them as they were drugged or dead, and then he would have a fascination of chopping them up and storing them in his refrigerator. Gross. And when they found his apartment, when they actually caught on to who he was, what he was doing, and they finally caught on to him, they found his apartment and he actually had a head in his refrigerator. You know, I like creepy, gory shit, but I couldn't have an actual human being's head in my refrigerator or freezer. No. That's just a little way out there. So, yeah. So he liked doing that kind of stuff. And then here we go with his fascination of putting stuff in acid and getting to the bones. So he actually did something to a guy that was even more creepier. Is he actually injected boiling water into a guy's head, and because this dude had a fascination with heads and bones and weird things. So anyways, yeah, it's just creeping me out talking about it. Comes in at number 2 as the most creepiest dude on my list, just for the simple fact because of situations like that. Now, coming in at number 1, now this is going to be a little bit of a topic that I really want to talk about because everybody right now probably knows exactly who this guy is. I never even knew this guy existed until this documentary. And I'm actually a serial killer fanatic. Like, I've even looked up serial killers across seas. And I may have came across this name, but maybe just never really, like, recognized it or anything to that nature. But I don't ever remember ever hearing anything about Richard Ramirez, aka the Night Stalker. He comes in at number 1 to me because this motherfucker is fucking creepy. He's fucking insane, and he really fucking creeps me out. So, the Night Stalker. Never heard of this dude until recently. I don't know why we're giving this guy so much. I knew something was aggravating my eye. Okay, we got it. I think we're good. Alright, so anyways, Richard Ramirez. Never really heard of this dude until recently. He's like blowing up the internet, blowing up everything. Women are finding him to be extremely sexy, and have you seen this dude? Like, there's just one picture, I'll insert it right here, and I'm sitting there thinking to myself, how the fuck do you find this dude attractive? He looks like a fucking piranha. He looks like, if a piranha was a person, it's Richard Ramirez, especially in this photo. So anyways, people were like, oh my god, Richard Ramirez, oh my god, he's so, like, sexy and all this shit. So, that's another thing that gives me the creeps, is that, like, how many women think he's, like, so sexy. Alright, so anyways, Richard Ramirez is a fucking beyond psychopath. Like, why he gives me the biggest creeps is because of how sickening this dude is, okay? Like, number 1, he wasn't a type of serial killer that just went after specific people. He would just come in your house regardless who you were, and he would just kill your motherfucking ass. He even went to the point to where he would attack little kids. His youngest victim was 6 years old. To all the way to elderly people. And that really just told me right then and there that this dude is beyond fucked up in the head. For you to just attack anything and anybody, that just really tells me that you don't give a fuck about anything, and you are beyond insane. That's all I'm gonna say. And for women to seriously find that to be attractive, there's something really wrong with you, because this guy had fucking like molested a little 6-year-old. And then he didn't even care like who his victims were or anything. He would just attack you, like, and then he would, of course, attack you like coming through the night and creeping at your window to kill you and attack you and everything to that nature. And then the even more sickening part about the dude is he thought, well, he blamed that it was Satan making him do it. Like, just own up to the fact that you're insane and you have issues. The devil ain't making you do anything. I hate when all these like psychotic people sit here and say like, oh, it's the devil that's making me do it. No, you're just fucking insane, and yeah, you're just insane. That's all we're gonna put it at. So don't use, like, I know why they use situations like that, so that way they don't get charged so heavily with murders. They try to get like they try to get checked into like an insane asylum. That's what they're trying to do by saying like, oh my god, the devil made me do it, or oh my god, this made me do it. I was hearing voice, like the Amityville Horror. If you actually read about that situation and story, the whole fabrication of what you see in movies is fake. That was actually his attorney coming up with a story to get this dude off, okay? Saying that he was hearing voices, and yeah. So that's pretty much how we got the Amityville Horror story. So somebody heard leaks of that, and then they took that shit and played with it, made a bunch of movies about saying, oh, this guy was hearing voices and all this shit, when in reality the dude was just fucking insane, okay? He just woke up in the middle of the night or whatever he did, and he just blew his whole entire family away. That's all it is. So anyways, so Richard Ramirez walked around saying that, oh, the devil made me do it, blah 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 blah. Bro, the devil I'm not gonna do that. For some reason I'm really liking my eye look today. So the devil didn't make you do that. You're just insane because, you know, you had a traumatizing childhood when you are young and your father makes you dress like a woman and all this other stuff. And then you watch your brother blow his wife away. Yeah, that's going to do stuff to somebody. It's going to make you a little insane and fucked up in the head. I'm not going to sit there and lie, because that's just not normal behavior for a young kid that needs to be seeing anything like that. Watching your own brother blow his wife away and all this shit. So the dude probably thought it was just normal behavior to do that type of stuff. And plus he was, I'm not even going to lie, if the dude... The dude's ugly as hell, and he probably couldn't get it any other way, so he had to like force himself up onto people, and he got away with it once, so he thought he could get away with it again, and again. And that's what causes these serial killers, is they think that they can just do it once, get away with it, and hey, that's the end of the story. Alright, so anyways, and then he would just do weird, absurd shit to, like, he would break into their homes, pee all over the house, ejaculate all over the house, throw up all over their house. Like, is there something? Well, yeah, there is something wrong with you. And then for people to, like, actually, I find it to be sickening, is for people to actually, like, support this guy. Like, how can you as a woman really sit there and say to yourself, like, oh my god, I'm so attracted. And he's not even the first serial killer. Ted Bundy had groupies. Jeffrey Dahmer probably had groupies. And I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, how in the hell do you not sit and think for 1 minute, like, this guy just killed a bunch of women. What makes me think he wouldn't kill me? Like, are you even using your brain? Obviously not. I mean, I'll never understand that, and I guess I'll never will, because I just don't understand how people can be attracted to people like that. And yes, I am a type of person who is like weird to the point to where like I would die to go see the Cecil Hotel, because I guess that dude like lived there for a minute while he was doing his killings and stuff. And the even more weirder part is the dude checked in as under the Cecil Hotel as a woman. That's even more creepier. So like, why were you checking in as a woman at the Cecil Hotel? Like, let me just put it this way. I would never want to be caught, or hopefully I never end up in a situation to where I'm with somebody who's so weird, and he would just, and then like he killed somebody and tore their eyes out of their head because they saw him. Yeah, you know, that's a whole kind of fucked up right there. A whole different kind of fucked up right there. I mean, Jeffrey Dahmer was a little fucked up and all that shit, and you know Jeffrey Dahmer's ass. He probably ate like an arm or two. Like, I'm sorry, you don't just boil people's heads and like not want to stick your finger in there and see if it's turning out alright, like normal people do with like making chicken. So yeah, Richard Ramirez, you were fucked up. You're weird, and you are the most creepiest, insane creep. And like, oh god, I don't know, he really creeps me out. Of, like I said, he just attacks anything, anywhere. He doesn't care, and that's what makes it even more creepier, is like, he didn't have a pattern. He would just go after whoever, and that's probably what took so long to figure him out and all that shit, is because he did not have a pattern. He would just attack anything from a little kid to a grandma, grandpa, and it was just, no for me. So yeah, I hope you guys liked this little, my top 5 creepiest serial killers that I find creepy as hell to me while getting ready. I'm not going anywhere, but I haven't gotten ready in a hot ass minute, and I felt like, you know what, let's just put some makeup on to do dishes and feel good about ourselves. So yeah, it's just little things like this that can make yourself feel better for the day. And yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please give it a big huge thumbs up, and as always, I upload every 3 days due to working purposes. I'll see you soon in my next video. You're beautiful. Stay true to yourself. Don't let nobody tell you otherwise. See you guys.